Hello everyone, hope we're all doing well and we're enjoying the weekend. So it's time again to prepare for a new week. I hope you're preparing the same by the time you come across this video, or if you come across when the week is moving on still, you can use it to compare to your analysis, right? So as usual, we are going to prepare for the week by applying the same things we have been learning on the channel so that we keep reminding ourselves. Of course, the approach that we have is the same. We don't keep changing from one strategy to another. So it's the same thing, just to keep reminding you, but by breaking down or analyzing setups that you can utilize to trade in the coming days of the week. So I'm going to be looking through some of the things some of the pairs I want to trade or securities I want to trade, but also they're going to be major ones so that it can cover a majority of people. Now, if I don't speak about what you want to trade, you can just comment it on our social media handles so that we can post it for you during the week, because we normally share on our social media handle. So before I go further into the video, I just want to, I've been speaking about Fastbull. Now today, this is TradingView. I'm using the free version. And then also this is a free version of, let me just open GBPUSD, because people have been asking, you keep telling us about Fastbull, how are their charts? Now I'll first show you the charts. You can see the charts are very neat and there are no ads that are going to inconvenience you, right? Here ads are going to pop up as we're using, right? But this one does not have ads. So the charts are very good. You can clear, you can compare. Very clean, very neat, and also you can adjust as far as possible, right? So that's one advantage of using Fastbull. And then the second advantage is you'd say it's all in one. We have signals. I've been speaking about them. There are top traders here that you can follow by checking the weekly rankings, and then also AI signals. Now we have the charts possible here. Also, we have chat rooms, right? If you want to communicate with other traders, it's very important for a trader, and also you can create your own group so that you can be able to communicate with the people that you share the same ideologies with. Then also, if you've been following our rules and you feel that you're comfortable, or if you have your own strategy and you really believe that you're ready to take your trading to the next level, there's a contest that is coming up, right? You can sign up for it. Of course, you can go through the rules so that you do not lose out. Also, there are prizes that are going to be won. Just go through the rules, right? So without wasting time, let's jump into the video. The link to Fastbull is just in the description. Make sure you check them out, and then you sign up, right? So I'm going to start with GBPUSD. Now, we're going to start as usual from the monthly time frame. Let me just remind you, as APN Academy, we use monthly for our direction. Now, this is a breakdown and preparation for the week, but also reminding you of what we have taught you. Now, if you start from the monthly time frame here, what we observe is that currently we are pushing upwards, right? But as we are pushing upwards, we are going to be basing on this movement downwards. Why? Because currently we have broken the last lower high that we had available. Which one is the last lower high? It is, we had this one down here, which was broken, and the price came back and tested. Then now also we have broken another one here, that price came back and tested here, right? You can clearly observe price came back and tested it here, right? So meaning that now we're going to be using what is on our left-hand side. Don't forget that, right? So that our analysis is going to be very easy. Don't complicate it. Since we have nothing here to use, we have broken all this, we're going to be basing on what has not been tested. For example, this area here has been tested, right, by price, this one here. I taught this in a topic called marking highs and lows, right? It was a very detailed video long. In case you did not understand that topic, first, you can watch it in detail, but also this is the concept I taught you there. Just focusing on levels that have all been tested, right? So this area, you can see it has been tested, but when the market gave us that turning point that gave us a push to retest that level, this level here, you can see it was not tested. Price went and tested. You see, this was the test that pushed to go and test this area here. But when we broke it, we did not test it. We just went and made the false breakout and then again broke down by creating also a hidden structure here. Now, it means that we have a very serious confluence in this area here that price needs to go and test. It has not tested it. Now, someone may say, but there's also a turning point here. Yes, price reacted to it. You can clearly observe that. Price came and reacted to this level already. So now, USD, let me just extend this here. Someone can say that, yes, there's a hidden structure around here, but price already came and reacted to it. So we have levels that have not been tested. We have this confluence here with the hidden structure here, right? So price is now reacting to this area. That's what I mentioned, that price has already reacted to this area here. So we have a structure here hidden. Price has already reacted. It reacted to it here. Then price currently is inside this level. So monthly, you can clearly see we have a clear place where we want to go. So I'm just going to make our chart clean by dealing away with removing those. So I'm just going to leave the ones that we have not tested. Now, also do not forget that we have a high that price has broken here in monthly, which is now going to be acting as our support here. You can see market created this high and broke above. If you want to also create another one, you can also have this neckline here like this, but this is a bit far. We do not need it, right? So we've identified the areas we're going to be working with: support area, resistance, resistance, right? So monthly is okay, direction was. So either we are going to, those who trade pullbacks, if there's a change here, we can pull back to this area here before we can continue. Those who trade continuations, we can wait for a pullback before we continue. So we must be able to see this in the lower timeframes like weekly, daily, and the rest. So those who have been struggling with direction, this is how you find direction. Use the same thing, mark levels, but now if I'm at a resistance, you know what am I looking for? I'm looking for a sell. Do I trade that? For example, here we're at a resistance, but in an uptrend. So do you trade reversals? No or yes? Answer that question, then you can apply whatever your answer is. If not, what do? I wait for a pullback. Has it touched my area of interest? What next? Yes, I'm going to be looking for a structure to trade like that. I hope that is clear. Now, let's go to the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame, still the same thing, right? I'm just going to adjust this area here, that one price to touch. Of course, someone may say that, but this level was touched. Yes, it was touched, but according to where the area we drew it in, it was not properly touched. So this one also, we have this upper level here. If you want, you can now bring it lower, depending on what you want. You can just bring it lower there. Now, this one remains the same. This is the high that we marked. Then also you can just adjust this high like this. So now you can clearly observe monthly says it's an uptrend. Also weekly, you can clearly see we had a W here. What are the rules of W? Retest the neckline and then push higher, or double tops and the rest. All those rules are there. We've spoken about them. Then we started trending. High, low, higher, high, higher, low. We spoke about this. Those who have been following us on social media, you know that. Then now we have a higher high. After higher high, what do we have? We will need to see market retesting this point before continuing. That's what we saw in monthly. We said we're at resistance. Either it will continue to touch here before it comes lower, or if this is the resistance, if there's a change of trend, then we shall come retest before we can continue. Are you getting it? This is how you connect monthly, weekly. They have to be communicating. If they're not communicating the same thing, still you have to know which gap is missing so that you can wait for it to be filled up, and then their trading will be interesting and easy for you, right? But of course, takes practice. Personally, you're seeing it's easy and simple for me on nice and the rest you're seeing, but it takes a lot of work, right? I encourage you guys to practice, backtest, and everything will be okay. So this is weekly. Let's check also if daily is communicating the same thing. Now, according to daily, we have a problem somewhere. Yes, we have an impulse, but also we have this hidden structure here, right? We have a hidden structure. Depending on the broker, it may either be green or it may be red, but still, all in all, there's a hidden structure here. So sometimes we may be expecting price to come and tap into this area here, and yet there's a hidden structure somewhere. Some of you call them order blocks and the rest. So you have to be careful about them, right? So, but of course, as a buyer, you want to buy at the cheapest price possible. So those who trade reversals, this is our area of interest. We want to see if it can give us a reversal, then we can trade up to. Now, instead of exiting from here, we shall be exiting from here. So most likely it's going to be intraday because this is in daily time frame, right? So in daily also we can add just our levels, just like this. So we're going to add something here like this, then we shall just change the color so that we are aware. So that even if we break lower, let me just increase it. Even if we break lower, we shall know that when we're coming back upwards, if the market comes here and then breaks lower, we shall know that as we are coming back upwards to continue here, we shall know that we have a strong level here in this area here, so that you can use it as a support to take re-entries or something like that. So now we have already mapped out our levels, and we know that they're all communicating the same thing from monthly, weekly, and daily. Now let's go further into our H4. This is my favorite entry time frame, but some of you can go further up to H1, like I've told you for intraday traders. Personally, I hold trades. So this is the area that I'm saying that that you can exit from here, because intraday, remember, we got it from there. Intraday, remember, you're targeting just between 20 pips to 80 pips. This will be a good trade for you, right? So we have levels that are not tested. Of course, in H4, this one is tested, this one is not tested, this one is not tested. And remember, as a trader, we have said that this one we marked in weekly, right? We marked in this one monthly and also weekly. We saw these levels correctly. So as a buyer, we want to see the cheapest price possible, but also we want to be able to see that the price has tapped at least one of our levels that we have marked in the bigger time frame. So we have two structured time frames, which is weekly and daily. So if price taps weekly or taps daily, then we utilize them accordingly. If a daily trade and taps your area, so you can look for change of trade to take the trade as a day trader, right? If taps in weekly, you can utilize it, but sometimes or most times those levels are overlapping. By overlapping, I mean that you mark in monthly and it's appearing in weekly, it's appearing in daily. Those are the best levels because any type of trader can use them, right? So this is GBPUSD. You can compare it to your analysis, right? So those who trade reversals, I expect them to be experienced. Look for a change of trend and you can be targeting this area and then you can exit, right? So even if it keeps going lower, the best way that it retests this is when it is retesting in a corrective way to either tap into this area or even this area. Then we shall utilize this level here to go upwards, to tap those levels. But also alternatively, if it just continues upwards, it's also okay. You can look for the reverse when it taps up here to come and target. Now, when it taps here, you'll be targeting this first, not this, because this is a strong resistance area, as we have seen in the structured timeframes, right? I hope that is clear. Now, let's also do another one that most people trade, which is, let's look at gold, right? We have spoken about gold. Actually, let me search it using its symbol, XAUUSD, right? So we have looked at gold a couple of times or a lot. Let's start also from a monthly time frame. Those who are following us on social media and on our Telegram, you've clearly been seeing us talking about gold. So starting from monthly time frame, we have broken above here. Currently, we are above. We have some days, either between 6 to 5 days to close the month. So if we close above here, this will become a support, right? So when we go down the weekly time frame, what do we observe? Just to go back slightly to weekly, we had a structure here that price had to come back and test, and it has tested, though this is not a convincing test, right? So you have to be aware of that, unless the lower time frame show that is the structure time frame show that it was actually tested properly, right? So we have our two levels. We have this and this so far. If the month ends when price is just in between here, we can also mark this high, but so far, let's just mark it, but so far the month has not ended. You can create a newer high. When it creates a newer high, you add just this, right? Let me just repeat that. Currently, this is our high. So we cannot base so much on it because we still have some 5 days. Can create a newer high, but if this is the high that remains, then it is good. Now let's go down the weekly time frame, right? So weekly, you can clearly see that this is so far the high that we have, and then this is the other previous high that we had that the market came and tested. And you can see also this is not a convincing test. But now according to weekly is showing us that, hey, we tested this neckline, and you can clearly see it was sort of a W here like this, right? So we came back and tested this. So meaning that we're interested again in the price testing the level that gave us that retest, which is this one here, right? And you can see price came back and tapped into it, then pushed higher, right? But also it's not a convincing test, right? So don't be surprised when price comes back again to test it before making a decision. Now let's adjust them in the daily time frame. So when I'm adjusting the daily time frame, you can see our levels become that. We had a false breakout, price came back to test here. And also here, when you adjust like this is the level you'll be seeing. And we also had this hidden structure. We talked about it. Those who follow us on social media, we talked about this hidden structure. When price reached here, we wanted price to come and retest. Then it continues higher. That's what price did. And then also it broke this resistance, then came back and tested. Now you can clearly observe that when you connect monthly, weekly, and they're speaking the same thing, but the levels are used by different kinds of people. That's why I keep mentioning all of them. So we had the hidden structure in daily. This was an entry level for intraday traders. This level here was for weekly traders, but you can clearly see it's also in weekly, it's in daily. So this same level can be used by intraday. That means daily traders or weekly traders. Now the difference is that weekly traders are going to hold from here up to up, while daily traders are exiting, maybe going to be exiting from here, and maybe this high, they exit. Then again, when price goes back and comes back, they enter here, they exit at this high, like that. That's the difference between swingers and intraday traders. So currently, what we have is we have another level here for intraday traders. We've already tapped this level. Now, swingers, if you're in, you'll be targeting this high here, right? Here, because the market came back and tested this area here. But now intraday traders, I expect you to be targeting the neckline of this M here. Let me just mark it and change the color so that you can differentiate this neckline, right? Now, if you were targeting that neckline and you exited it, so currently we are above the neckline. You can actually just even mark this area like this. Currently we are above the neckline. So if price opens on Monday and there's a weak momentum while retesting this level here, then also now you can join in to be targeting the high. Now let's check how it looks like in H4. Now also in H4 you can clearly see it's the price came back correctively. We had price giving us a low, lower high. This is a lower high, right? Equal highs here, equal lows. So a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So price has closed above this area here. So if there's a weak push into those lower time frames like H1 intraday, H1, minute 30, the ones that you use for intraday trading, then you can target this area here. Or if it even pulls a little bit deeper to come and test these levels here that are improperly tested like this, then you use this pullback here to take the trade to target that. We have a couple of videos that we have talked about entries, that you can utilize, right? Or otherwise, you can just compare the setup and then you utilize it. So those who trade gold, that's what we do have. We have been speaking about it when it came down, when it was going up here, when it was still in this range here, when it was down here, when it was going up, when it was coming down. We have really covered about gold. If you want to follow how we're doing it, you can just search about gold amongst our videos. Just type in gold. You'll be able to see how we're handling all the situations here, right? But the most recent one, we talked about it from here, moved up, created this hidden structure. We said to retest here and then break above. So now it has tested this resistance that it broke, which is now support, and we're pushing higher. Let's see if it will go higher. And how do we know that? By the communication of the momentum and change of trend. So currently, we have closed above this level here. We expect it to push at least to give us equal highs here. But how do we take the entry? We want it to give us a weak momentum into this red level, or even come a little bit lower into this and test improper test here, so that we can push higher. Now, also let me speak about this. Sometimes when people see that they've marked a level and price has not changed trend from there, they get disappointed and they even move on from the setup. But let me tell you, you see this is a smaller profit margin if you took from here. If it changes the trend from a little bit lower, you'll even have a bigger risk-to-reward ratio. I don't know if you guys look at it that way, right? Remember, as a trader, you're a businessman. You want to capitalize or make as much profit as possible. Are we together? So gold traders, compare that, and then you can utilize it, okay? Now let's also look for another one that most people trade. This is Euro USD. I'm trying to implement the same rules that we use here so that you do not forget them. Now, as usual, I'm going to start from the monthly time frame. Just the same. Most of these things have dollars, so they have almost the same thing. So since we're pushing higher, we're going to be also using this here. We're going to use the same knowledge, okay? So now, if you look at this movement here, when price was coming down, there's a level it broke, but never tested it, this area here, right? There's a level we broke down here when we're pushing lower, this area here, but price never came back to test it, right? Are we together? This area here, right? Let me just clean the chart to make decisions easy. Your chart has to be clean. Of course, price attempted to test it here, but we never. And then it came down and tested this area here, where currently price is. You're seeing this level here? It came down and price tested it. So in the process also, we are having this high that price has broken here, right? Of course, also we had this previous lower high that price broke above and came and tested, almost just like GBPUSD, but now we do not need that. So we have a resistance here, but we have a level above that is not tested that price may be interested in going to touch. But before we even think about that, we have to identify our support and then our resistance. So if we break above is when we think about this, but let them both be there. So now we have identified the direction. So at resistance, either we shall retest here, then we continue, or we shall break above and then create a strong impulse. Then we use Fibonacci to target this level here. But so far, let's check what is happening in the next lower time frame. So when you come to weekly, of course, price is trending upwards. Now in weekly, we can add also a level here. We can just change Okay, we can leave it as that. You can I just like changing color so that you can understand better. So we can add this level because it's a turning point that the market pushed. So we're having a market that has broken 2 turning points. So this is an impulse. Whenever there's an impulse, what did we say? We expect a pullback before the market can continue. So either the market is going to give us a deeper correction as long as then it break the 61 golden ratio. But right now I can't draw the fib because it has not brought an opposite candle. Just watch the video of the fib. The rule is it must first bring the opposite candle, then you can draw it, and then you mark all the levels as long as then cross the 61 golden ratio, right? It may cross it, but that should not close below it. We spoke about that. In case something is not clear, those are the rules that we use, and also you can rewatch the video. So right now I've just spoken about it, that you can utilize it when an opposite candle comes. I'm not drawing it here because I'll be violating the rules, right? So let the red candle or opposite candle first come in of sellers since we're in a buy, then you can draw it and get a proper confluence. But for now, I'm just going to mark using this high here. And also, if you want, you can adjust this level here so that it's not so big for you, like that. This one is okay, I think. This one is very okay. Or if you want, also, you can just adjust it like this, right? So that your chart is very neat, and also the slabs are not so big as you go to smaller time frames. So we've already mapped out our level. So let's go down to daily. So for monthly and weekly, speaking the same thing. Now, when you come to daily, we are going to add another level here, just slightly above here, creating an area, this area here. So now remember, as a buyer, I've told you that you're looking to buy at the cheapest price possible. So price started to come here, but never reached it down here. And now it's touching a resistance. So those who trade reversals, we want to see the market changing trend, then we can target this area here before continuing higher. So those who trade continuations will be waiting for the market to test lower levels because it will be cheaper. Some of you call them discounts, you want to buy, but it's just in a layman's language, because I want to use a language that you can understand, everyone can understand. We just want to buy at the cheapest possible price as a buyer. So how do we do that? By trading at levels that have not been tested. This level here, price gave a false breakout, then came back and tested it properly. Now this turning point, you can see this is a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. But this level has not been tested. This is what we want the price to test, right? So depending on the type of trader you are, either you can trade the reversal or you can wait for the continuation. Are we together? So that's it for Euro USD. Almost all of them are the same. If you've seen, because they involve gold, I spoke about correlation in one of the videos. Because we have the dollar as the common currency, so other factors remaining constant, we expect them to correlate negatively or positively. But since these ones are having the dollar on the right hand side, we expect them to move in the direction. Other factors remaining constant. Other factors are the factors affecting the base currency. Here, for example, here the euro, the other side the pound, the other side the gold. We know gold sometimes moves fundamentally, right? When the uncertainties and the rest. So sometimes it may go against whatever the DXY is doing or the dollar is doing, right? Also, when the euro maybe does different things from what the pound is doing, you may find them for some time moving differently, but in most times they're supposed to be moving the same, right? That's why you see even their structures are almost the same. So you can compare this also to your setup, and we see how you can take it. But always make sure when you want to buy at the cheapest price possible, and also determine the type of trader you are. Most of us are facing that problem. You don't know what the type of trader you are. If you're experienced, you can trade reversals, right? If you're not experienced, you can wait for continuations, right? And also make sure you trade when there's a change of trend. Whenever there's no change of trend, do not take that trade, okay? So let's check H4 so far. What is it doing? That's my entry time frame, but you can go lower, right? I hold, but for you can go lower, right? So if you go to H4 still, you follow it through, we can clearly observe that the market was created this high, like we saw, low, then high, came and tested this previous high here, then we broke above now, but this area here has not been tested, so meaning it's aligning perfectly. So here we have this high. You can also see some highs here have not been tested. So you can just wait to see the ones that test properly and then create maybe a structure of change of trend. And then when it starts, the time it starts making lower lows and lower highs, then you can take your reversal to go in. If you're not experienced to that level, wait for the continuation. Then you use this movement when it is coming down. It should be the best retests are done that are corrective. By corrective, I mean it shows you a proper trend. For example, it's an uptrend. Now the corrective move will be a downtrend, making lower lows and lower highs. When it taps your level, you can switch to entry time frame. Then you look for change of trend. When the moment it starts trending upwards again, you take your buy. And of course, you know that we have already gotten the targets. We have this target already. The other target can be this one, but I know few people can hold like that, right? So always use your immediate high or your immediate low, depending on the direction, as your immediate targets, right? Or necklines like M's, W's, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, patterns, those can be your targets, the necklines of those structures and shapes, right? So I wanted to use these ones as breakdowns as we go into the new week, and also to remind you of what we have taught on this channel. I hope you've got value out of it. If there's a pair that you feel you cannot relate to these ones and you want us to look at them, kindly you can let us know on our social media handles, comment them in the comment section, then we shall be able to update them on our social media handles. Have a profitable week ahead.